Welcome back to episode 7 of In the Parks, the Eye-to-Eye show where we take you inside the parks, mainly about Walt Disney World, but certainly we can go all around the literal world that Disney controls, theme parks, food, and so much more. I am one part of the show, co-host Kyle Loomis here, Disney World and Disney Parks fanatic and social media person, content creator, all that kind of stuff. And the other side of this, the other part of the dynamic duo, my sister-in-law, first of all.
Hello.
Miss Brittney Reese. Okay. Apparently you're up for rental or something like that. I don't know. But also a travel agent extraordinaire and expert on all things for Disney planning. That's something that people can take advantage of with you, not just listening to your opinions, but obviously working with you here in the future, maybe for a Disney vacation.
Yes, I would love that. Yes, as Kyle said, I am a travel agent specializing in Disney and Universal, so just have to get a quick plug in before we get started. So if you are interested in my help, you can reach out to me at Brittney Vacations on Instagram.
And always keep in mind, those services are free to you.
Yes, they are.
Takes care of a lot of the stress stuff. I have trained her myself. I have infected her with my love of Disney World, and other people did as well. I'm not going to take all the credit.
It's a lot of Kyle, though.
But if you want to go back to episode 1 and hear the segment where I told you the moment my work was done, that was a funny one. But go check that out. All right. So on this episode, we'll be more in our traditional format. We are going to have 3 segments for you. We're going to start off the show with Disney Parks news, and then we've got 2 main topics for you. We will obviously be talking about, if you've been listening to the last couple episodes, we're getting close to our upcoming family trip to Disney World. Mm-hmm. We'll be doing a preview of that and having a little bit of a fun segment, a bracket style of Disney Parks food, specifically Magic Kingdom Magic Kingdom Park snacks. All that's coming up in this.
Dirty folks, we're gonna battle.
We are gonna battle. There's gonna be much tears shed. And we'll see if we still do the podcast after this, if we can get along or not. So, because we have to agree on this.
Yeah, anyway, we got 3 more parks to get through, so hopefully this is not terrible.
Yeah, this is the list, right? I have right here, so we'll go through that in just a little bit. All right, let's do Disney news first. That's what a lot of people love to hear about. What's the latest news? Some of this is going to has already happened, going to happen. But we're going to give you a good smattering of things. Let's start right off at the top with probably one of the more popular topics, and that is the Galactic Starcruiser, which has been closed for quite some time, is officially going to be reused. I was about to say refurbed or rethemed, but
I mean, I guess in a way it is.
You can't retheme something guests aren't going to see anymore.
Yeah.
It will officially be now Imagineering offices, which frankly, why are you booing for it? It's the only thing that makes sense, I think, frankly. Yeah. Would you do something different with it?
Yeah, I feel like you could make it like a cool Star Wars themed restaurant, like at least part of it, not all of it, obviously, but I don't know, just kind of a bummer. Like they're wasting such good space, like right in the middle of Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. Well, I think
I'm kind of bummed about it.
Well, I think one of the things is because remember, it's technically separated by that roadway, and there you had to take a quote unquote shuttle. It literally is a shuttle. It's a bus shuttle to get over there. So I hear you. I think that it could be a great restaurant space, something like if it was an add-on that you got to go do extra in the parks. You know, they're always trying to plus things, monetize different things. But I always love hearing that their Imagineers are getting more space to work and come up with new ideas. I think the saddest thing about this, though, Brittney, is the reminder how much of a failure the cruise line
failure.
I mean, how much was it again? Do you remember off the top of your head?
It was like several thousand per night. It was ridiculous.
I feel like I remember for a group of 4, it was $4,000 to $5,000 just to stay there for 2 nights, I think is what it was. Now, it was all encompassing. It had shows, food, all that stuff included, and a day at the park or Galaxy's Edge at bare minimum. But it just didn't work.
Too much. I mean, it's the equivalent to the Premier Pass, which we're going to get into. Like, who can afford this? Like, it'd be a once in a lifetime thing. It's not something that's going to be sustainable. I mean, maybe Premier Pass will be sustainable because it doesn't cost anything to keep it up and running. But I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying something that's like so separated from the park as it is. It takes so much of your time. It's so exclusive. It just, with that price point, it was doomed to fail.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. But hopefully our Imagineers will do some great work over there because obviously their ideas there didn't pan out exactly how they hoped they would. But sad to realize yet again that I never got to do it, but I also couldn't afford it as well. You brought it up. So you're more of the expert in this area than me. So I'm going to lean on you with this one. The Premier Pass, which we talked about on previous episodes, has been out there. Some news out there about how you might be able to access that now.
Yeah, so Disney did update it to where it used to be when it first started, only deluxe resort guests could access it, but now they've opened it up to all Disney resort guests. Price point hasn't changed. It's still astronomical. It's upwards of like $450 a day at Magic Kingdom. I mean, if you want to do it, more power to you. I'm jealous. I wish we could do it, but that's just not something that's going to be feasible for us and our family. But it seems like it's doing pretty well, actually. I know there's been several days that it's sold out, so I don't know like how much in stock or whatever you want, how much availability there is, how many people they allow to buy it per day.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's like 100 people, maybe it's like 1,500. I don't have no. Yeah.
I think we predicted this was going to happen, that if it was successful, that they would move it to everybody, not just a specific group.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, why would they want to pigeonhole it to just deluxe resort guests? Because then they're missing out on potential money they could be making.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, you've got a certain demographic that can afford that, and you can make more and more money off of them. But
maybe if you're staying at the All Stars, then you have the extra money, you can afford the Premier Pass.
That's a certain way to think about it now. So everybody can access it now. Obviously, we don't have any plans of doing that. I will tell you, this is my one qualm, and this comes from, I'll give them a shout out, All Ears. They do a lot of fun videos in the parks, and they were utilizing the pass. And I realized, and I knew this, but you don't get to go to the front of the line. To me, if I'm paying that much, I know the perk is that you get to go whenever you want to the lightning lane. But if I'm paying that money, I better be able to go to the
front of the lightning lane, yeah,
and do that. I get it, folks. That's a little bit extra. Maybe I am a little bit extra, but that to me is probably what
to create a third line for everyone.
You have the peons, the lightning lanes, and then the Premier Pass people. That's all it's got to be from now on. I can't imagine how they would squeeze any more lines in there. Of course, they find ways to. By the way, you've never been to Disneyland, where the lines are all outdoors for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's kind of wild. It doesn't look terrible, to be honest with you, but it's definitely different from what you're used to at Disney World. So there's the Premier Pass news. You can now get it if you can afford it. I want to talk about first, before we get to this, a lot of closures and refurbs. This one is really near and dear to my heart. Maybe some of you who've watched some other eye-to-eye content on our other channels or things that we've done in the past know this about me already. I have a degree and a background in zoology, and I love animals and zoos to death. Now, Disney will tell you it's not a zoo. That's what they'll swear by. It is, folks. They can get over it. But I love, obviously, Disney's Animal Kingdom, and I love it when we get an opportunity to talk about special news like this. Every birth of an animal there is special. Please don't hear me saying that. For those of you that are lovers of other areas of the Animal Kingdom, but certainly we all get super excited about cuddly, furry little balls of fun, and no better than tigers. We have a brand new baby Sumatran tiger. Now, I should say he's not brand new anymore. He's been in dens back behind the scenes, growing a little bit, but just came out onto public display with his mother, Sony, who I actually knew at Zoo Atlanta when I used to work there. Well, I didn't.
That's fun.
I didn't work with her, but I got to see her. I knew keepers that talked about Sony all the time. She eventually obviously went to Disney's Animal Kingdom. So every time we go by the tigers over there in the Asia part of the walkthrough, I get super excited about this. I know this makes you excited because it's a kitty and you love kitties so much.
Oh, yes. So I am very excited to go and see her.
I believe it's a him. Boxo. I could be wrong, but I think it's a he. I could be wrong, though.
Well, we'll definitely have to make a special trek through the animal walking trails to go see him.
and I hope I'm pronouncing it right too, because I'm going to walk up there and then a keeper or an interpreter is going to be saying actually and pronounce this way, and I've been saying it wrong on the podcast the entire time.
Oh, discredited immediately.
Discredited. Give away your zoo card, all rep that you had in that area. I wouldn't have anymore. But they had almost like a 2-hour line for like those first.
Yeah, I saw videos of it. That's crazy. Now I don't know if I would wait in a 2-hour line.
I would, but not for the money.
Part ways.
But listen, I would do it if I was going to be there for an extended period of time, or if I had a lifetime pass or something like that.
4 days planned for Animal Kingdom, maybe.
Yes, maybe. We're going to go do our best on a recent trip, upcoming trip, to go see the new baby Sumatran tiger. We'll move into closures discussion now, but we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about at least this part of it because it's pretty significant. It's one that's been talked about on our podcast and a lot of other places, and that is Muppets Courtyard. It has been official that is going to be replaced by Monsters Inc. and a new roller coaster, and all of that's coming there. We'll find out more in the future, but we're getting real now, Brittney.
Yeah, we got dates.
The dates are here. Give us the dates for how things are going to start closing and when for Muppets Courtyard.
So it's going to be slightly phased. The first phase comes with Mama Melrose. It's going to close on May 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sad about Mama Melrose's. I've never eaten there personally. Haven't heard great things about it. Goodbye, Mama Melrose.
I liked it. It was good.
And then phase 2 comes on June 7th, and that's going to be the sad one for people. That's Pizza Rizzo and Muppet 3D Vision. We're definitely going to have to see Muppet 3D Vision on our trip.
I will definitely be watching.
Pay our respects.
Pay our respects. Tell all the bad jokes one last time. Salute to all nations, but mostly America. Y'all going to get that a ton on this
Kyle
trip.
might shed some tears.
I will shed tears, and I will be screaming that from the heavens one last time. All the quotes. So anyway, yes.
And then the final closure is just the whole Muppets Courtyard. That's the day after on June 8th. So very sad for Muppets, but I'm excited for Monsters Inc. Land. It's going to be great. And we don't have to say goodbye to Muppets forever. It's going to make its way over to Rock and Roller Coaster at some point. We don't have any dates for that yet.
Yeah.
But it's not goodbye. It's see you later.
Oh, look at you bringing in the other Disney phrases. See you real soon, Muppets. If I try to do my very bad Mickey impression, I'll do my Stitch impression some other time when it fits in perfectly there. So there's your dates for all of you Muppet lovers, which I am one out there. I certainly agree, though. I like something new to be done with it, and it will be sad to see all aspects of that. And it's the last remnants of that section of the park, which used to be like Streets of America and stuff like that, where all of the backlot stuff used to be. So I think that's part of the reason why it hit so hard for so many people. But either way, it's got to happen. Change comes, and Disney said it best. It's not a museum. All right, we've got a few minutes left here, so we need to rapid fire through some of this, but we can stop wherever you feel appropriate, Brittney. But lots of other closures, refurbs. I'm going to lean on you here. Let's go.
We'll just zoom through these really quickly. Jelly Rolls at the Boardwalk is closing, and it's moving somewhere. They haven't said where, speculating that it's probably not in Disney World, maybe just somewhere else in downtown Orlando.
That's I've never been there. Have you been there?
I have not been there. I wanted to go, but I probably just won't go now and whatever.
It's not.
I'm not too sad about it.
I am someone that says, hey, I would like to try everything if I have a reason to. I'm not going to rush over some things I'm interested in. That's not one of them. So I'm not sad really, but I understand.
Yeah, and there was always a cover, so wasn't too excited to pay like $20 just to get in, and then you have to pay for if you want food, drink. So it's like $100 at the end of the day, and you're just listening to dueling pianos. So whatever. Yeah. We have some pools that are being refurbished. The Fantasia pool at All Star Movies is going to be closed January to April. And then the big one, of course, is the Stormalong Bay at Beach and Yacht Club. That's going to be closed from January to June. So that's a pretty big refurbishment, especially when you're getting into the warmer months.
Yes, that is shocking that it's going to be out that long. And you've never done that one, right?
No, never been to Beach or Yacht before. On my bucket list.
It's exquisite. A lazy river. Pool, essentially a sand bottom pool, the best water slide at all the Disney resort pools. It's
If
awesome.
we ever stay there, we just have to plan a full day just for the pool.
Oh, that's what we did. Jessica and I specifically
Mhm.
planned the trip where we would spend it was actually our last day at Disney. We didn't even go to parks. We just spent the whole day at the resort, went out to
That's so
eat
nice.
somewhere. It was such a great day. So anyway, it's weird that it's going to be out for that long.
I know, yeah, in the middle of spring break and everything.
Hmm.
Let's see, a couple more things. Sebastian's Bistro at Caribbean Beach is gonna be closed for a short refurbishment, beginning on March 24th. There's no reopening date, but it just says short refurbishment.
Hmm.
Bay Lake Tower is getting room refurbishments until September, and the Dumbo Playground is closed for several months. Don't have any solid dates on that one yet. And then, we already know about Astro Orbiter, Big Thunder Mountain, Three Caballeros, Test Track, Cali River Rapids. There's a lot of refurbishments going on right now.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a problem for our upcoming trip. We'll talk about it, but I'm a little frustrated
Yeah.
about some of those.
Yeah, I'm really sad about Thunder Mountain and Astro Orbiter. They've taken the ride vehicles. Have you seen pictures of
I
it?
haven't seen the pictures, but
Like,
I've heard people
it is
talking about
like gone.
people are
Oh,
like,
what
wait a
they're
minute.
doing.
Wait a minute. Are y'all taking it away forever? People get trauma because of how much like hubbub there was over the original ride over there where Frozen Ever After is. And people were just like they would see the boats go by on the interstate and it was like, oh my gosh, it's never
Yeah,
coming back, you know.
trauma.
So there's trauma that comes up when you see your favorite ride vehicle being pulled away from you. I get it. I get it. What
That's all
else?
the big closures and refurbs that we've got going on right now. I'm sure they're going to be releasing some more because my gosh, it just seems like the winter time is just the time for everything to close for refurbishment.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like that happens every season or every winter season, but I feel like it's
Hmm.
happening more this time.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way about
No,
it?
I
Or
do. There's so many closed right now. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's weird. I mean, I'm happy that they're investing in stuff. I just wish it wasn't during the time that
Yeah.
I'm coming. Maybe I could choose a different time of year. I don't know, but hey, listen, it's cooler, cheaper, somewhat. We'll take what we can get, and that does come with refurbishments.
And then the
Uh,
final thing I guess to mention also is we also have the closure date for It's Tough to Be a Bug, March
that's a
17th.
I'm gonna ask a hot take for you here. Are you more disappointed by It's Tough to Be a Bug leaving or the Muppet 3D?
Well, I'm about to like scar you, but
Oh no,
I've never seen Muppets.
show's done.
So
Show.
I love Tough to Be a Bug, so it was probably gonna be that anyway.
Okay, listen. I've got some traumatizing memories of when I was younger when I first did it, of the things stabbing you in the back and stuff like that. But
Yeah. No,
when
that's why I love it.
it's when you've got a good crowd that's a lot of them haven't done. It's tough to be a bug for. It's really fun, even if
Yeah.
you know all the words and all the catchphrases and all that kind of stuff in there. It's real. It's kind of like we talked about with Muppets, a staple, an opening. Well, I think it was opening day. I can't
It's
remember.
got to be. It's so old.
It's gone. It's going to be something new. It's going to be great, but it's another piece of our childhoods that is just wafting away into the mist.
Sad.
Sad day, but all right. Well, let's move on before we get any sadder. That is all of the majority of the Disney news that we have time to talk about. We've got plenty of other things to discuss coming up here in our main two topics. Let's do a prep for me mainly. We do have a family Disney trip coming up here at the end of February, the beginning of March. We've been planning this for quite some time. We're really excited about it. But I'll be honest with you, I've kept myself in the dark from our plans a lot because it's nice when you create another monster of yourself, and Brittney does all the
I don't
planning
get
now.
to sit back and relax now. Pressure's off.
You can ask me to do some things, by the way, but I am enjoying this now that I get to just kind of provide supplemental. It's like, what do you call it?
You're
Disney
just there for support, like tag you
Disney Planner Emeritus. We'll go with that title.
in. Okay.
So I have no clue. Brittany's going to give us the quick rundown of what we're going to do. We'll talk through some things. I'm sure I'll have opinions about it. So
Yep.
take me through our trip. What were we planning on?
It's gonna be kind of like a reaction video for Kyle.
Reaction.
So
Let me get my reaction faces.
So you already know where we're staying, I'm sure, right?
Yes. All-Star Music, correct?
No,
I'm off. All-Star Movies. All-Star Movies.
no, like
Wait a minute.
way off.
Oh, I'm getting 2 trips. There's a potential another trip coming up, folks. I'm getting 2 trips that are potentially happening
Oh,
this year.
this
What
is way better. You're about to be very happy then. We're staying at Saratoga Springs,
Saratoga, I
American Villa.
knew. Yes, yes, I've known this. I've just got my wires crossed. But here's
Okay.
my reaction to that.
Woo!
So, yes, I'm
A little
excited
different than
about
the
that.
All-Stars.
I am, I've never stayed there,
Me either.
but I have spent a decent amount of time over there walking around. It is a huge resort.
It is a huge resort, but hopefully we're gonna be staying, so we're in a preferred room in one of the rooms closest to Disney Springs. So we won't
Yes.
have to take the big trek across the resort to get to Springs.
I will warn you that it is even if you were the closest one to it, it's still going to be a little bit of a walk, but not too bad.
Well, I was expecting that, but that's okay.
it's
We
it's
can
still
always
walkable.
drive if we get desperate.
How lazy are we? We're just going to drive right around the corner.
It's gonna
Like
be like
literally,
the same walking distance from where we park the car as it would be from our room.
you know, it's funny if you think about that. If you just watch, like, get in the car and go around basically around the curve, you'll be like, oh, we could walk that. But then when you walk it, you realize how you have to walk around the water and stuff like that. It's a pretty
Yeah.
view. So don't get me wrong, but you'd be like, oh, we can drive that or we can walk that. And
You
you're
just
like,
swim
oh.
across that lake and you'd be there in like 2 seconds.
Anyway, I'm
Anyway,
excited.
so we'll leave on Saturday morning. We'll drive down there, the dreaded 8+ hour drive to Disney, but we're gonna do it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Right now I have us a dinner reservation for Disney Springs. It's because this is where I thought you were saying, or Miss Rhonda was saying you wanted to eat at, but wires got crossed and not
Oh, I
true.
don't
So
care.
we don't have to eat there.
Hit
But
me with it.
currently I have us a dinner reservation at Summer House on the Lake for Saturday
Oh,
night.
I'll
But
go to that.
if we get there and we just want to do our own thing, go to Earl of Sandwich, Polite Pig, whatever, we can easily cancel that. I just have that to have it really at this point.
No,
Uh,
that's something new. I haven't done it yet. I don't care about wires getting crossed. Here's the great thing. I don't know what to expect out of that, and I might keep myself in the dark. So maybe some of our viewers, listeners out there can tell me what to eat. What doesn't? It's not just me. They're not going to the restaurant to watch me eat. Okay, that's not what's happening here. They're going to eat as well. Tell us what we should eat, what we should try at
yeah.
Summer House, because
We have
obviously
a
we
lot
will.
of new dining reservations, places that at least I've never been, so we're definitely open to any and all suggestions that y'all have.
Cool.
So we'll start Sunday. This is like a cursed word, but we're going to Universal on Sunday. It's just for one day, park hopper
I'm good.
ticket.
I will get my brookie, and I will like it. I love the brookies
Yes.
over there in Dr. Seuss land.
And I'm excited to do, I'll make this real short, the Mardi Gras stuff. They have the parade and all the food booths. So I'd like to try some of that this year.
It's
Never
like
done that.
it's their version of Epcot's Food or Wine or Flower
Yeah.
Garden, all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's cool little vibe. I like it. I've seen, some of the stuff y'all have tried there. We're usually riding too many
Mhm.
things that make me throw up, so I'm not usually eating too much over there, and I got to save room for my brookie.
Brookie always takes priority.
I'm going to say that 1,000 times on the trip too.
So that'll be Monday or Sunday. And the rest of the time, since we have Park Hopper, we can change plans as much as we want to. This is just kind of what I have listed right now. So for Monday, I have us starting at Animal Kingdom, hopping over to Epcot. It's the last day of Farts, Festival of the Arts. So we had to go on Monday so we could go to Festival of the Arts.
You think I wouldn't laugh at that anymore, but I still do.
It's too good. And honestly, I've watched a lot of food reviews from all the booths. There's nothing I'm like super excited about. I mean, I'm sure that we'll all try plenty of things, but I feel like usually at these festivals, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to try this or that. And I don't know. It's just kind of nothing standing out.
And I think that's a good point. Even if you don't like a lot of stuff that you're seeing and people's takes on them and stuff like that, I think sometimes the problem is while we all want to be team players and share our foods, there are some things at some of these other festivals that have just been amazing. We don't want to share them, or we have to buy 2 of them. If there's people intrigued by some of these Festival of the Art food items, we can at least say, I may not be like super excited, but if everybody wants to try this, let's give it a go. And maybe we find something that we weren't really expecting. Once again, maybe people that are watching and listening can tell us what to try.
The empanada is back this year, though. Remember
you and the empanadas.
You liked that empanada. It was too spicy for me.
Which is shocking. Usually Jessica, my wife Jessica, is the one who doesn't do spicy stuff as much. But yeah, it was good. But I just feel like I hear you talk about it all the time.
Yeah, I was really excited about it last year, and it didn't live up to the hype for me.
sad day.
So our next day, Tuesday, that's our rest day. We've got reservations at Boma for breakfast,
That's
which
another new one.
huh?
That's another new one.
Yeah, so Ryan and I went to Boma back in November, and it was fabulous, and I'm so excited to go again.
Mhm.
Um, so then with no real plans for that day, just kind of hanging out at the resort, going to Springskin if we wanted to, Character Warehouse, pool. And then we have another thing that's kind of up in the air right now is if we wanted to do Planet Hollywood or the Boathouse for dinner. Or again, if we wanted to just wing it and quick service somewhere. Um, so something we can talk about more later. We don't have to decide.
Sure. But it sounds like our theme for this trip is try some things we haven't done lately, or either at all or lately. I have done Planet Hollywood back when it was just Planet Hollywood before Guy Fieri took over
Mhm.
the kitchen and started, doing some more things. So I think there's a lot of mixed reviews on Planet Hollywood, no matter who's there. It's kind of just the novelty factor of going in there and seeing all the crazy stuff and the
Right.
crazy food items and stuff. But it's something that I would love to try again to see what it's like with his version of it. Same thing can be said for Boathouse. It's a specialty. It's about seafood, and I'm not the biggest seafood person, but I've heard rave reviews. One of my favorite Disney podcasters, shout out to him, Lou Mangello, and been to a couple of his conferences and stuff like that. He is just like the biggest proponent of that. So it's kind of
It's
one of
so
those things.
good. I have
So
been there before. Yeah, Ryan and I went there, gosh, whenever we went on our first solo trip like 2 years ago.
mhm.
So good. I loved it.
Well, I think for me, again, this is a very big thing more than just about rides or a particular park or food or locations. It's the whole experience. And I just love the idea that it's kind of there's some open air type of feel to it,
Yeah.
that you've got the water right there, the amphicars coming by and going out. And then, obviously seafood is, I do like it. I'm just not the biggest connoisseur of it. I think all of that is just a very unique experience. So we'll see. We'll have to
Yeah,
report
we'll
back
talk
on
about
what
it.
we do.
We got
Yeah.
time. So Wednesday, next day at Disney. This will be starting off at Hollywood Studios and then ending the night at Magic Kingdom because we'll have extended evening hours.
hmm
I do have us. Oh, I forgot to mention too. On Monday, we'll have extended evening hours for Epcot.
Ooh, plenty of eating time. Plenty of eating
Yeah,
time.
I think the booths do close at
I
9,
know,
so it's more.
but yeah, I'll find
Anyways,
something to eat.
and then also on Wednesday, our mother-in-law requested Oga's Cantina, so I've got us an Oga's Cantina reservation for Wednesday morning when we're still at Hollywood Studios.
Oh, we're starting early. Okay, all right. with the Oaks Canteen. So whether you partake of the alcohol or not, there's both versions of drinks in there, and I got to try some last time. I can't remember which one I tried, but Jessica and I had two different ones, and both were really good. So I don't know if we'll do the same thing this time or something different. You've been there like twice now, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. It's
So you
always
probably,
great.
yeah. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong in there. You got to go in there just to experience everything at least once.
Yeah. So that's all for Wednesday. Thursday, this is the one that I'm kind of up in the air about. We'll have to decide exactly what we want to do. I have us starting in Epcot,
hmm
ending in Hollywood Studios, but I'm wondering if we want to start somewhere else because since we'll have already had the extended evening hours in Epcot, we'll probably have written everything already.
hmm
And the booths World Showcase doesn't really open until the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that there's much of a point for us to go in the morning time. But
Unless you
something
want
else
to.
I mean, unless we just wanted to hit all the rides again.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
obviously, I'm not opposed to doing Cosmic Rewind 1,000 times. Do
ah!
you see what I'm wearing? Guardian's shirt, Guardian's hat. This is
True. I mean, gosh, we could go just for the purpose of riding Cosmic Rewind twice and then go somewhere
yes.
else.
This is folks. If y'all didn't get an opening, I mean, I think they have the hats after opening day, but I got this on my birthday. I should have worn my actual Guardians
Oh,
opening
yeah.
day shirt for this. I messed up. Love them so
Nuts.
much. Nuts.
Then ending the day, Hollywood Studios, we have a Roundup Rodeo dinner reservation at Hollywood
mm,
Studios this night. Never been there. That's a new place for us too.
hmm
Kind
Excited
of heard
about that
mixed
one.
reviews about that one, but I want to get my own opinion.
I think it's one of those too that you already have the element of there's some participant. What's the word? You have to participate in the antics. Andy's coming, all that
Sure, yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I think if you're already someone that's not doesn't love that aspect, like if you go to Whispering Canyon and they do the jokes and stuff
Yeah.
like that, you might already be susceptible to maybe not like your experience as much.
We will participate, I'm sure.
Oh, we will. I won't do as bad as my friend Tyler though, who instead of just freezing went under the table and hid from Andy,
Oh
which
dear.
you gotta admire the commitment to that because at least he stayed in the character with everybody.
Okay. And then our last day is Friday, and I just have Magic Kingdom written down for Friday. I mean, that we can kind of do whatever the heck we want that day. If some people want to go, do Everest again, go to Animal Kingdom. If we want to go back over to Hollywood Studios, we'll go there. So just kind of like a free for all, whatever we want to do type day. No reservations or anything for that day.
Well, you know where I will be at the end of the day, and that will be in
Space
line
Mountain, I'm
for
quite
Space
sure.
Mountain. Nobody has to follow me. I get it that I get kind of boring and repetitive, but that is what I will do unless there's just some other
You do
good
your
reason.
thing, Kyle.
I will go ride that thing as many times as possible to end the night. And I know the track backwards and forwards, don't care. It is the greatest ride that Disney's ever created. And if they ever take it away from me, we riot. We ride at dawn and we riot. That's
I
what I'm
think
saying
it's
right
safe to say that Space Mountain is not going to go anywhere for a long, long time, if ever.
I was about to say, I hope you were not going to jinx us and say ever, because I know what happens when you say that. Your things go away.
But
That sounds
that's
fun.
all. That's all for the trip preview. Just kind of short and sweet right there. We'll have to do a trip report when we get back and see just how closely we stuck to those plans. I'm sure something will change.
So maybe to round out our discussion about it, I'll ask you a question since you got to reveal everything to me.
Okay.
What is your most anticipated thing from what we have plans to do? I get we may change things because it's, we're trying to be flexible, but what is your most, and even if it's something that we've already done, it doesn't have to be something new, but what's in your mind? What are you most excited about?
I think I'm mainly excited about our resort and our
Mhm.
room. It's going to be so nice. We're going to have so much space.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And then, gosh, I don't know. I guess I'm just excited about all the new food dining places we're going to go to, like especially Roundup Rodeo. And if we do like Summer House or Boathouse again, I mean, I don't know. I'm just excited about it all. Just can't wait to be there.
What's the newness factor certainly is easy to pick in that, but I think getting to explore new things and not just go visit a resort, but actually sleep there and
Yeah.
actually be a person who can use the amenities
Yes.
properly and go walk around, see what the resort is all like. That's always fun. And so
Yeah.
even as someone who's walked around just visiting the resort, I'm excited to actually stay there and, if nothing else, check it off the list because you got to check everything off at some point, right?
Yep.
Those things that we can afford at least. So that's our trip coming up. Certainly we will talk about it and give you the review of everything that we did once we get back. So stay tuned for that. Like we've told you guys before, from time to time, we want to just cover news and stuff like that. We want to just have some fun that's Disney parks related. And what's more fun than talking about food? I mean, is there really any reason we go to Disney? Let's be honest. Come on. Right?
There's not.
There is.
It's like food, rides.
We'll talk about those levels a little bit later, but certainly food is high up in this list. So if you've been watching the whole show, you've been seeing me hang on to this card. We need to give a shout out to our apparently executive producer, Jessica, my wife, who y'all have seen on some of the other I2I content and hear from time to time. Well, I'm sure we'll get her on here. If nothing else in vlogs and stuff like that. She just named herself executive producer and she put this little bracket together for us. We are about to do a Disney Parks snacks bracket, but specifically for Magic Kingdom. So you guys, if you enjoy this type of content, if there's something you want us to continue to do, let us know. I think these things generate a lot of conversation and you're probably not going to agree with this, but the way we structured this is Brittney and I both submitted our top 10, what we consider each a snack at Magic Kingdom, and Jessica, my wife and executive producer, put together a bracket that I'll probably put up on the screen for everybody on a segment that we put together later on. But I have it here, and we're going to go through and see who wins. We have 16 items that we are going to go through. So we're on the sweet 16 or savory 16, whichever way you want to.
Ooh, like what you did there.
It's a little food pun on words.
All right, lay it on me. Let's first match it.
This is our first one, okay? And I'm going to try to keep track of this on here as best I can. We have to come to an agreement on this. Our first one is the Cheshire Cattail or the sweet and spicy chicken waffle at Sleepy Hollow.
Ooh, okay.
Is this tough for you? I think I know which way you're going on this one.
So I have never had either, full disclosure,
Wait a
but
minute. No, you tried my spicy chicken waffle.
okay, maybe I
Remember?
tried it, but I've
Okay.
never like purchased it and eaten the
Okay.
whole thing.
Okay.
But I'm not a huge fried chicken fan, and the Cheshire Cat tail has been on my list for a long time. So I would
Mm.
vote Cheshire Cat tail, and I feel like this is going to be our first disagreement already off the bat.
I think that I've tried the cattail, like a nibble of it, when Jessica got it one time. I could be wrong. I
It's
think
kind of
it's.
like a cronut, though, Kyle, from what I've
I
heard.
know. Listen, there ain't nothing better than a cronut, though. Ain't no party like a cronut party. Hey. So it sounds like we've got a decision to make here. It sounds like you're excited about the cattail. I've at least sampled it. You have sampled the waffle, but it doesn't sound like it made a lasting impact.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I'll give you this one since you've at least had both of them.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I will take this win here because I think it's not that I think it's gonna be underwhelming for you. I just think it won't live up to some of the other things that you've had, like a
That's fair.
cronut.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say the sweet and spicy chicken waffle at Sleepy Hollow goes,
Okay.
even though you're not a fan of fried chicken,
It's
apparently.
going down next round.
Yeah, you have no idea. I'm looking right in the camera right now. Jessica Lynn, this is my wife I'm talking to right now. What you did, I don't know if you did this on purpose. You were supposed to randomize this. I'm upset with you.
Is this Dole Whip versus cinnamon roll? That's my guess.
Oh no, it's one of those. Dole Whip versus, and you witnessed this firsthand, Brittany, last trip, me discover the greatness that is the cake pops at the confectionery.
Oh, okay.
So we all know what my answer is. My answer is 100,
Well,
but she's making me eliminate the cake pops. You say
yeah.
something.
No,
You
it's
just-
got to be Dole Whip. Dole Whip is like the iconic Disney snack.
it
I
makes
mean,
me upset.
that's kind of a no-brainer. That's like a 16 versus a 1.
And that's what I'm upset about because this is if we want to go basketball talk here, since we're both basketball fans, this is a 16 that's got a shot to beat if they get the right number 1 that they're up against.
Yeah, they did not get the right number 1. They got the overall 1 seed there.
Hey, make this real time sensitive. They went up against Auburn. My other thing that I'm doing. All right, moving right along. Gaston's cinnamon roll versus LeFou's brew. They actually at the same place.
Okay. That one's pretty easy for me too.
It is easy.
Mhm.
The problem is, and I've figured this out. I need to do them separately. It's almost too much sugar and too much sweet all at once. Like,
Yeah.
if we are near Gaston's Tavern, I'm probably gonna not do LeFou's brew in the morning when we go get a cinnamon roll. I'm gonna do that separately because I need to try it without all of that sugar at once.
Well, we can plan to go twice now since we got our park hoppers. We can get cinnamon roll one day, LeFou's brew the next day.
You're not helping me stay healthy on this trip.
So. I am not going to be the voice of reason when it comes to health that week.
All right. So Gaston cinnamon roll, is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
All right. There it is. Okay. This is a generic one, but I think it's a big just crowd pleaser. Disney popcorn. Just whatever, Disney
right.
popcorn versus the pepperoni spring roll over there at the cart.
This is specific, not just the spring rolls, but the pepperoni spring roll.
This is one from me because I know. So hold on, hot take for everybody. I'm not a fan of the cheeseburger spring rolls. They're fine.
I love them so much.
They're fine, but pepperoni spring rolls is where it's at. So I'm saying popcorn versus pepperoni spring roll.
I'm saying pepperoni spring roll.
I do love some Disney popcorn though. So I'm just going to say, I will agree though. Pepperoni spring roll gets the win.
Yeah. And you can get the popcorn anywhere. I feel like that's not super like Magic Kingdom specific.
But it's so special in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. If you're going to get Magic Kingdom popcorn, go to the confectionery and get the build your own.
And that's where I would get it. So that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Either way, that one wins. Sorry, it's done. It's done.
Okay. I won.
All right. Other side of the bracket. She won. Other side of the bracket, Mickey's ice cream bar versus Mickey's ice cream sandwich. That's a real
I
tough
think
one.
we might differ on this one if I remember correctly. I'm a sandwich girl.
No,
sandwich. Are you like sandwich?
I am an ice cream sandwich person every day. Look, it tastes good, but it's too messy. The other one, and I know that it smushes down over time, but at least it's got some solidified.
And the cookies are just so much better than the hard chocolate.
Yes, I am. Right. I'm telling you right now. There is nothing better out of those two than a sandwich. And I get it. I'm making some of y'all mad. Jessica's I think she's down the hall right now. I heard her. She's probably screaming to herself right now. but ice cream sandwich is the winner. All right, moving right along. This one is a little bit, I don't know this one that you're talking about, which I'm kind of ashamed of, but one for me is kind of like a generic overview. Here's why it is.
Okay.
The Friar's Nook mac and cheese dish, because it changes a lot. Pot roast mac and cheese, rest in peace, is the greatest thing that they've ever created. But whatever it is, I've seen different varieties of it. It's the the Friar's Nook mac and cheese dish. You have apparently
hand pie right now. Is that what you're
what's
talking
that?
about?
The mac and cheese hand pie? Is that the same thing?
Yes.
Oh, is that what they have there now? So
Yes.
this is an easy one then. So
It's just the mac and cheese versus the hand pie.
I guess, yeah, because I didn't really know what to call it because I know they rotate it so much. So
Maybe they have some other mac and cheese dish right now too. I'm sure they do. They probably have some kind of like loaded barbecue mac and cheese or something like that going on.
Tell me what the hand pie is real quick. Just very
it's essentially what it sounds like. It's like an apple pie from McDonald's, but instead of apple pie filling, it's mac and cheese.
Winner chicken dinner. That's what we're doing. Sorry.
I'm getting that.
Love you, pot roast mac and cheese, and that's kind of what that fell into. But my goodness, that sounds good. Okay, here we go. I should have said winner mac and cheese dinner. All right, here we go. Mickey Pretzel versus the Harbor House Hush Puppies.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Okay. I guess I would just say the Mickey Pretzel because I'm not a huge Hush Puppy fan. That's not a knock to the Magic Kingdom, Columbia Harbor House ones. Yeah. It's just me as a person. I'm not a huge Hush Puppy fan. And I do love a Mickey Pretzel with some plastic cheese.
Plastic cheese. After trying the Hush Puppies for the first time last trip, love them. And that's why I put them on this list. But I think up against the Mickey Pretzel, it's hard to beat that. Yeah. So I will agree with you there. We have to talk to our executive producer because we have a mistake here. Maybe she told me about this. She put the Cheshire Cattail versus the Blue Raspberry Dole Whip float. I am going to fight tooth and nail for the Blue Raspberry Dole Whip float.
Wait, was Cheshire Cattail already on here? Is that the mistake?
It was the very first one that we did with the sweet and spicy chicken waffle.
Okay, we'll give it to the Blue Dole Whip float then.
So I'm just saying, but do you want to fight for the Cheshire Cattail in the other battle then over the chicken waffle?
I've never had the Dole Whip float, so I don't know. Not the blue one.
Here's what I'm going to be fair here, impartial. I'm going to, because I have to have the Blue Raspberry Dole Whip float go. I'm going to put the Cheshire Cattail through instead of the spicy chicken waffle because just be fair, and I'm not that invested in it. So that is really the one that's going to go through. Okay, so here we are. We are now in the Elite Eight. We got to move quickly here. We got Cheshire Cattail versus your traditional Dole Whip. What wins?
It's got to be Dole Whip. I feel like Dole Whip's just going to win this whole thing. How can you beat a Dole Whip?
We might have to remove it from the other parks so that it doesn't win every time. Yes, I would agree that one is the one that wins in that particular. I'm still sad that Chocolate Cake Pop didn't make it through. Mm-hmm. Jessica, I'm mad at you. Gaston Cinnamon Roll versus Pepperoni Spring Roll.
Oh, gosh, that's a hard one.
Sweet or
when you
savory?
say pepperoni spring roll, I'm just including all the spring rolls because I love them both equally. Gosh, for me, it's the spring rolls. I feel like for you, it's the cinnamon roll. That's a hard one.
I will go spring roll.
Okay, great.
Here's why, and I'm about to make our family upset. I've never met a family, and I guess I'm throwing you here under the bus too, that loves cinnamon rolls so much. I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of getting burned out on cinnamon rolls.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm the same. I'm not like a huge cinnamon roll person, but Ryan loves them.
Let me just, apparently, sorry, our in-laws, apparently the Reese's just have to have cinnamon rolls.
I mean, the last couple times we've gone, I went and got that Nutella waffle instead of the cinnamon roll.
Now,
which, RIP, that Nutella waffle, that is my overall #1 snack at Magic Kingdom.
What I'm saying is I love Gaston cinnamon rolls. I love them to death, but I think having them so much outside of Disney kind of ruins it for me. So spring roll it is.
Great.
Ice cream sandwich, Mickey ice cream sandwich versus the mac and cheese hand pie. So a classic versus something I guess that's slightly new. What is it for you?
It's hard because I haven't had the hand pie. So I don't know if it's actually good or not.
Think about can you give up something mac and cheese for the traditional ice cream sandwich?
I guess I'm just going to say the hand pie.
I'm actually different. I'm gonna
I'll
say
give it to you because I'm not very opinionated on this one. You can
I'm
do the ice
gonna
cream.
I'm gonna say that one goes forward because I think it's a classic. You got to have it there. All right. Last but not least, we have the Mickey. This is in the Elite Eight. Mickey Pretzel versus Cheshire Cat. I cannot say Cheshire. Cheshire Cat. I'm sorry. Back up. The Mickey Pretzel versus the Blue Raspberry Dole Whip Float. You know what I'm picking. I mean,
Just do the blue raspberry one because I don't really care on this one.
we got 2 Dole Whips in the finals. All right, let's see what happens here. And let me break this down for folks. This was all randomized, and yes, even if you randomize it, the Dole Whip probably still going to end up near the end. But we have 3 sweets and 1 savory,
As it should be.
As it should be. So in the final 4, Dole Whip versus the pepperoni spring roll. What is it? You got to pick one, Brittney. You got to.
For me, it's the pepperoni spring roll, but that just spring rolls in general. But okay, I'm looking at my list, and Jessica, why didn't you not put corn dog nuggets on this?
She removed some, to be fair, from both of us, and I had that on there as well. She tried to remove some of the ones we had similar so that there would be some variety. So,
okay, she just wanted us to fight.
Which we could have inserted when she doubled up on Cheshire Cattail, apparently. Anyway, doesn't matter because Blue Raspberry would have won there anyway. All right.
Well, I would have fought for that one.
What about, is Dole Whip going to win, or are you going to fight for it?
I might fight for spring rolls.
How about this?
Just rock, paper, scissors it?
Okay. How about this? If I give up on the Dole Whip, which is I'm sorry, it's a crime, I'm getting the other one.
Okay, but then we're just going to end up fighting.
Well, that's the point of this. That's the whole point of this. All right. So pepperoni spring roll is our first final 4.
Just generic spring rolls. I'm not fighting specifically for pepperoni. It's the pepperoni and the cheeseburger.
If you want there to be an argument on my end for that, then you got to make at least the pepperoni be a hard case in that one.
Both. It's when you get the 2 and you have 1 of each.
And then finally, Mickey's ice cream sandwich versus the Blue Raspberry Dole Whip. And
I don't care about the ice cream. We can take the Dole Whip to the end.
There it is. There it is.
But we're going to fight now.
All right, now we're going to fight. So we have done our bracket to round out here. Lots of sweet, lots of savory was at the beginning. We are ending with 1 savory and 1 sweet. The Blue Raspberry Dole Whip Float, which I'm just going to remind you folks, sometimes you have to ask for it and sometimes it's not there. So it's kind of a hit or miss.
Okay, so it might not even be there. So why are we talking about it?
Now the pepperoni rolls, which I'm going to have if you want this to be a legitimate conversation, are sometimes not there either. So with that in mind, we recognize they both could be there, just maybe seasonally or something. These are the 2 here. Let me just make this case to you, Brittney. Is there any other better flavor out there in that, like an ice cream thing or something like that, than blue raspberry stuff or candy?
I have never had this, so I can't.
But you've had like a blue raspberry lollipop or blue raspberry sherbet. Have you ever had that?
Sure, I mean, it's good, but when it comes to Dole Whips, like, I want the pineapple vanilla swirl, and I'm not going for the
But you
blue
do.
raspberry.
That's what I'm saying. It is let me explain. It is your traditional Dole Whip with the pineapple juice at the bottom, but it has 1 big swirl of a blue raspberry in it. And it's the perfect combination of sweet and sour together. It is amazing.
You can change my mind if you get it and I try it then during our trip, but I can't not fight for my spring rolls.
Aloha. Well, apparently Adventureland is the winner of this, no matter what we pick here.
That's fair.
So I will say, if there was going to be a savory thing that battled me on this, it would be the spring rolls or something from Friar's Nook. So how about this? Let's leave it open-ended and let's let the listeners pick. You must decide Blue Raspberry Dole Whip Float versus, I'm going to make it specific so that it has to, since this is so specific, a pepperoni spring roll. Is that fair?
It's like such a niche Dole Whip too.
It is. They're both niche. So let's see what happens. You guys can have the final say. I think we're going to have to think about it. Maybe we'll both try this in the next trip and just be like, all right, you win or you lose or whatever, or we'll just come back and keep fighting. But let's leave it open-ended for now and people predict what we would pick / what they would want.
Yep.
What do you
fight in the
want?
comments for me, please? The spring rolls need your help.
No, the Dole Whip doesn't need your help, but you should fight for the Dole Whip because it's the right thing to do. Anyway, so there it is. That's our first attempt at doing a little bracket with Disney snacks. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And certainly want to hear your feedback on that. We love talking about those things. That's going to do it for episode 7 of Eye to Eye in the Parks. We appreciate you being here, Brittney. Plug away with how people can get involved with you and plan a Disney vacation.
Yes, if you're interested in my help, I am a travel agent specializing in all things Disney and Universal. You can reach out to me at Brittney Vacations, Brittney, on Instagram, or send me an email, brittney.reece, REECE, @academytravel.com.
And certainly do that. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing or what I've been involved with, you can follow us on the Eye to Eye in the Parks YouTube channel. There's also Eye to Eye Kyle and Jessica, which is kind of a home base of sorts for what Jessica and I do, reaction videos and stuff like that. That's where you can find me. And we're doing a little bit on TikTok and Facebook these days, so look for some of that stuff out there. So hang out with us wherever you can, whether it's in the parks or not. Thanks for hanging out with us. Until we assemble again.
May the force be with you.
And we'll see you real soon.